Hi, and welcome to Good News Friday. Mike Simon is here. I'm Joey Yarber. Happy Friday, everybody. Solving some of the challenges that exist in our country today. Let's face it, inflation, out of control. There are a lot of people that are going through a lot right now when it comes to challenges of all sorts, whether it be housing, whether it be jobs, whether it be food insecurity. Our pantries right now are being overrun many times. So having a process in place, a workflow that allows a client to come into a food pantry, get the assistance that they need, but from all the while, the agency, the pantry being able to track this data, let's make it expeditious. Let's make it easy, and let's make that flow happen so that there is respect to the clients and their time, but at the same while being able to have a process that where you're able to collect data on the clients that you're working with. And Mike had a great conversation with the food pantry in California this past week where they're talking about some of the challenges that is there. The gentleman explained to me that they have a very small parking lot, right? Well, they're doing mobile pantries out there in the parking lot. They're working from that perspective out there in the field. And they want to try to get those cars in and out, as fast as possible, right? Because according to the gentleman I spoke with, he said that a lot of the issues that they're having is that the cars only have certain amount of room there in the parking lot. Otherwise, it's an overflow out into the highway, which is not good for anyone, right? Dangerous and those kinds of things. And not to mention, it's taking a lot of time to get the food to their clients. But here is where barcode scanning comes in and the capability of doing client ID cards. And as I'm sharing these capabilities, this gentleman is just like, his eyes are lighting up and he's like, wow. He's like, this is totally going to be a game changer for us because it's going to allow us to keep track of the data, but let's make that process there for working with these individuals and their vehicles. Let's make that easier. And now they're going to be able to do that. It was a lot of excitement, Mike, but that's what we do here at Simon Solutions. We solve.
Yeah. That's and barcode scanning was first introduced to us by a food bank person many years ago.
Yeah.
They thought that we could streamline the process of moving people through the lines
Precisely
by using barcode scanning. Yeah. And COVID-19 kind of ramped that up because food banks went to parking lot distribution instead of people coming into the building. Right. And so when we introduced barcode scanning, it really streamlined distribution of food and mobile pantries where people would drive up and right. Through barcode scanning, they could move them through that line quickly. And that's what it was all about, is streamlining that process. And I'm thankful for those food banks. The food bank that actually challenged us to think about doing that many years ago, I'm thankful for that now.
Yeah, San Diego, Vanessa Franco talking about what we might be able to do when it comes to barcode scanning and just kind of thinking outside of the box of what was normally done during, our time of development here. But, Mike, we took that to our developers. They're like, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Let's make that happen. That's feedback from our potential customer at that time, just suggesting that would be a good idea. Now we are working and serving there with the San Diego Food Bank and very happy to be serving alongside of Shelley Parks and our friend Vanessa Ruiz, who brought that suggestion to the table in the first place. We're listening. We understand that we know so much, right? From a technology design, we can talk to you about how that this might look from a coding perspective and bringing this in from the technology perspective. But you're the ones in the trenches. You're the ones out there doing the distributions. You're the ones out there that know that people are lining up as they shared there in San Diego at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes to get food. 4 o'clock in the morning, think about that. Out there, sometimes in the cold, sometimes in the heat, but waiting to get food. We want to make this a respectful process where you're able to get the food that you need, but at the same time, the food bank is able to get the data that they need. They understand that kind of situation, and their hearts went into the design. Their hearts went into the design of the barcode scanning feature. This is pure and simple as that. They wanted to make that process respectful and at the same time get you the food that you wanted in an expeditious process. But when you hear these stories about people lining up that early in the morning, we have to do something. We can't, we have too much technology here to allow stuff like that to happen. And barcode scanning, the client ID card capability, you know, as I was sharing with the gentleman that I spoke with this week, is talking about the client ID card, capturing on a webcam, a laptop, if you will, someone's picture, but then being able to actually place that on an ID card with a barcode. Now, when the client drives up, they present their client ID card, they scan that barcode, bam, automatically in Oasis Insight, their case will be presented. So then here's the great thing, another barcode for a food resource item, like a box of food, scanning that code, it's automatically now entered into the system that this particular person received a box of emergency food. So you've got two uses of barcode scanning, one for the ID, one for the resource item, and these people are on their way with their food. This information has been documented within Oasis Insight. It's game changer, Mike, and it really helps everyone all the way around. This is what we're talking about, solving some of the challenges. And I think it's safe to say that right now, there's a lot of challenges going on in our country. There's a lot of people that are really going through some difficult times as prices continue to climb. And of course, the budgets continue to shrink. So, hey, we here at Simon Solutions, we're not through. We're still working. We're still hearing, still developing, and all kinds of different things coming down the road. And Mike, we just assemble these stories together. You know, some of these stories that we've been documenting through the years, we feel a responsibility to share with you folks. You can check out our website there, collectivecommunityimpact.com. These kinds of stories, Mike. It really is. It's got to be there for us, because I think a lot of times, here's the question: who else is doing this? You know, and being able to share. All right, well, it's this individual here, and here's their phone number. Here's their email address. Reach out to them, because we want to share the good news. And indeed, there's a lot of great stories out there, Mike.
Yes, there are.
Hey, we appreciate you. And, you know, from a development and innovation perspective, we're just listening. And that's what it's all about. So if there's any suggestions that you may have as to how that we can bring a feature or something like that into Charity Tracker and Oasis Insight, give us some feedback. You could always get in touch with Mike at simonsolutions.com, or Joey at simonsolutions.com. We're here to serve with you in your very important work of helping and caring for other people. For all of us here at Simon Solutions, a big salute to all of you out there that are making a difference in people's lives. We're honored to be working with you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Mm-hmm.